What's up to the people who we don't know but we love? We call you affectionately the Toot Matriarchy. We have two groups. Make no mistake, we got two cackles of people who listen to the Hyenas, one of which we refer to as the Toot Matriarchy. Those are the people who listen for free to our Bernie Sanders episodes. And then we got the true blue matriarchs over at our Patreon matriarchy, our Matreon, if you will, at patreon.com/Bay Ridge Boys. Welcome to another episode of History Hyenas. I am Chrissy Pseudo-Tit, Chrissy Well Farts, Chrissy Salmons, Chrissy Chlamydia, Chrissy Kavanaugh. As you know, that is all a lie. I am Peanut Head Pappas. And we are not joined by Chrissy Kavanaugh, Chrissy Cackles, Chrissy Pseudo-Tit, because he's in Houston. That's how he pronounces it, Houston, with his trash bag Queens accent. He throws a Y in there. He goes, I'm going to Houston. But we do have, off the bench, Jerry Seasting. Jerry Seasting off the bench. We do got the microwave.
Vinny.
Everyone who's 30 and over might get that one. Vinny Johnson, baby, off the bench, spitting fire. Our own domesticated dog, Hebert James Mattern.
Oh, what a trip! What an intro, huh?
That was like I was cutting a promo for you, baby.
You cut the promo, baby.
Hebert.
I want to punch you squarely in the mouth every time you do it.
And of course, we're joined as always, as you know, on the soundboard. A lot of people have put a bounty out on his head. It's the one and only jihadi with a body, Zach Isis. So we're gonna try to call Chrissy and see if we can get him on the old Skype, thanks to modern technology. But as it is right now, it's just me and Hey Bert, and it's
gonna be 60 minutes of you just saying, "Hey Bert." We're not even gonna get to the subject.
Bubba, I made a video yesterday where I like to trick you. I told you I wanted you. We went to the hockey game last night.
Yes.
First of all,
I've seen the goddamn video. I think you're gonna play.
Yeah. Well,
I have a copy of it.
I wanted you to sing Rolling Stones, and then you started singing Rolling Stones, and I just started screaming "Hey Bert" over it. Hey Bert, hey Bert, hey Bert.
You should tell people what the song is so they know.
Start Me Up by Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
Start Me Up. I went to a hockey game. There's no black people at hockey games.
There was a couple.
They worked there, and that was only because it was Brooklyn. But I mean, I feel like I could go to a hockey game, like when they were playing the Coliseum, or I could go to a hockey game anywhere, and someone could start playing a white power heavy metal song, and nobody would ever hear about it because it's just white people there.
I mean, the rumors would get out, buddy.
I don't think so. The type of people hockey fans are.
Oh, you are so...
The ones who aren't Canadian.
Dude,
it's a white sport.
Yeah, but it's a good sport. We had the great seats, and Yannis the whole time would turn to us and be like, I want to go to a museum. It's like, shut up.
I just want to...
We had the best seats.
I was narrating the hockey game. I was going, so here's the guy. Now he's going to push the puck to his friend over here. So nice. And then they're going to try to put this puck in that net. Oh, wow. It's the time Oh, boy. These boys are going to fight. And it's hard to see. It's hard to see. I don't think anyone who follows hockey's ever seen a goal when it actually happened in real time, Buzz.
Jihadi, so this son of a bitch, the first goal's like in 60 seconds.
We have a producer that we just called Jihadi, and it's just what it is.
It's what it is. So the goal hits. It took us a second. Me and Chrissy knew it was a goal, but it hit the cross. It hit up top. So it took us a second to make sure it went over the line. He goes, did you guys see that? Did you guys see that? No one sees a goal. I have a theory. No one sees a goal. And then they'd score on the other end, which is like far away. Did you see him? Like, yeah, well, it's hard to see the line. So anytime the puck hits the fucking glass in front of us, and he'd jump out of his seat and go, hey, did you see the puck there? Did you see it? Did you know there was a goddamn puck hitting glass 2 inches in front of you?
Jihadi doesn't watch hockey. You don't watch hockey, right?
Not a hocky fan.
Not at all.
No, but it's great live.
Are you a sports fan at all?
I used to follow basketball.
Yeah, and then the rhythm of the music hit you.
Yeah, I mean, they called me to work, and
that was it. You know what I've heard? I've heard Zach's music, and it's really good, which I was hoping it wasn't going to be that good because I don't want Zach to blow up. Then we'll lose him on the cast. It's going to be hard to find another 23-year-old kid who only half cares about what's going on here. It's gonna be difficult. We're gonna have to scour. He also has to be from Queens, and he's got to be a Muslim kid. I mean, how many Muslim kids' parents are letting them, work with Goyas? What do they call? What do Muslims call non-Muslims except devils, Jews,
Pork eaters?
The enemy.
Oh, there you go.
enemy? There it is. The object of jihadi. Everyone is just an object of jihadi who's not a Muzzy. So we went to the hockey and we had a good time. It was the Vegas Knights,
My team.
where supposedly Vegas Knights, all of Vegas is going crazy for that team, which is ironic because Vegas is the desert, babies, and it's a fucking hockey team. So everyone in there is from Finland who plays on that fucking team.
I always hate that argument. Last year when the team was doing well and people were like, Vegas, what does Vegas know about? There's no snow. Yeah. Do you realize they play it in an arena, indoors, and that the finals are in fucking June? I always love that argument. It's like, you realize when in Canada, when the Stanley Cup's going on, the times it's played there, it's not snowing either. It's indoors.
Yeah.
People are swimming during the day.
But it is a winter sport. That's why it's a little
Supposed to be, but like whatever. I mean,
because it uses a natural element that requires cold weather naturally to achieve.
Yeah, you have a good point. We should probably cancel it. What about in October and November when it's really freezing and the boys of summer are playing the World Series?
Wait, which boys of summer? Are you talking about the
baseball?
Baseball or the boys in World War II? Because they fucking were the boys of that summer. And Germany remembers what happened. Italy remembers what happened because those are the real fucking boys. So you talking about those boys or are you talking about the boys baseball?
Yeah, but everyone's like, everyone makes that hockey point. Well, but like, you play a World Series in the East Coast outdoors, it's freezing. Guys are shivering.
See,
Some games are in November now.
Now I'm thinking you may be a Jew because you are exaggerating.
Are you out of your mind?
It's
People
October, November.
Yeah,
it's not freezing.
It's 30 degrees at some of these places.
Nah, never.
Never.
Rarely
Never
does it
really?
get to
Do you wanna
30.
look it up?
I'm not going to argue with you,
Do you think
because
Boston was warm?
you're over your allotted Hey Bert time limit.
No one knows this
We're
because
gonna-
that episode hasn't come out yet, stupid.
Yeah, but we're gonna tell them, and I'll tell them now because that's on the
I'm
bonus.
your co-host today.
That's true.
So what do I got? I got to blow the shot clock.
Bubba, Jihadi with the Body is the coach, and he's saying we got to take you out. We'd rather play with no goalie. That's what they do when the team's down in hockey. They pull the goalie.
Oh, now you're an
so they can
expert.
have a little. What we're gonna do, Jihadi, is we're gonna have a Hey Bert time limit. So when he starts talking, if me and Chris signal to you, then we got to start playing some sort of some wrap up music or the Oscars wrap up music. That's what we'll do.
You're gonna ruin.
No,
me.
we'll do that.
I can't handle this. I met one of the fans last night. He said, "Hey, Bert," to me.
He did say, "Hey Bert." Yeah, everyone's calling. Everyone, they love the Hey Bert, and also I'll tell everyone right now, the people who are part of our matriarchy over at Patreon, which if you're not, I don't know what you're fucking doing. Even our Instagram is well over 3,000, and we're what are we at? 350. There should be 800 more of you. It should be 1/3 of the Instagram followers should be over at Patreon.com. Because now, what do we have? Like 30 episodes? How many episodes do we have? Who knows?
We're coming up on like 45.
So that means there's 45 concomitant attending complimentary bonus episodes that go. So even if you join at the $5 level, which is I think just our Cuzzy Wuzzies level, you get 45 bonus episodes. 45 extra bonus episodes that you haven't heard yet. If you're a real fucking toot and you got $10 a month, you get all of those, but you also get our walk and talks, which are wild. And make no mistake, we just started a new segment called the Kamikaze segment, where me and Chris just start recording and try to get the other one to say something wild. And so we kind of sneak attack a podcast on the other person. And that's for our $25 a month members who get a whole bunch of other stuff, including all the stuff the $5 and $10 tier members
The
get.
Kamikaze episodes are awesome. There's also some fun clips on the $25 tier level that only they have access to, like Chrissy's feet.
Oh, yeah. We had a podiatrist diagnose Chrissy's feet, and it was fun. Actually, my fiance's pops, who's a chief podiatrist, but he's a podiatrist nonetheless. And you get your name read on the potty, so you guys know that part. We guess your name, we talk about you. If you're our $25 member, we call you once a month. You're on the podcast. By the way, we got to call some 25ers. We're not going to do it today because Chrissy Cackles isn't here. We're going to try to get Chrissy Cackles on the phone, but we will call you. And then make no mistake, we got to give a special shout out right now, and we will do it again when Chrissy comes up. We had our first $500 member.
Great.
Wild. I mean, how fucking wild is that? That somebody joined our matriarchy, Medici, pseudo-tit level. You are fucking wild, cuz we'll do an episode eventually on the Medici family. They were basically a rich family that fucking paid Michelangelo to do all that shit. That's why we called it that level. But this dude joined at 500, and his name, I gotta find his name. Holy shit, I should have this ready because he's basically our benefactor right now. We are Julia Roberts, and he's Richard Gere in Pretty Woman.
Gets a picture of the glue gun.
Bubba, he's Richard Gere. Are you going to give him a picture of your glue gun?
I was before you said there was a 500, I go, hey, I'm going to announce the 500 level is you get the pictures of the glue gun. And then he said there was a 500. I'm like, whoopsie.
Bubba's.
Sometimes it's a whoopsie, baby.
Yeah, I mean, people really want to see your glue gun is what it is.
Glue gun nation.
And so I think at some point, you're the glue gun nation out there. I think at some point, can you find that, ISIS? Can you try to find the comment on the community board or whatever? We got his name there. I mean, I should have had it ready, but we're gonna talk. I mean, this guy's we're gonna hang out with this kid. We're gonna figure it out. We're gonna hang out with this kid. Appreciate it very much. We got tons of $25 members. We're gonna get to all of you. We're gonna call all of you. We're gonna keep thinking of segments to add to the Patreon to keep giving you more and more cool ideas and content and fun things. I will say this, the bonus episode from last week, the bonus episode, that's everyone who's on the Patreon gets that. From the $5 all the way to the pseudo-tick crazy 500. Yeah. So everyone gets that episode. I got tons of personal messages. We got tons of personal messages on the Instagram that people thinking that was the funniest History Hyenas of all time. That was the whole Aunt Eileen. That was Chris talking about Uncle Russell. We pretty much should have just called that episode Uncle Russell. Chris has a wild uncle, and it's really funny. And I listened to it back, and I was dying while I was walking my dog. I was absolutely barreled over dying. So go back and listen. What did we talk about last week? I got Alzheimer's.
I believe we talked about the cartel.
Cartel, baby.
So the Cartel's Wild bonus episode. If you're not part of the matriarchy, you got to go hear it. That's for the $5 level. And the walk and talk this week coming up, which you're going to hear when Zach Isis puts it up. Chrissy Cackles actually picks up a toot on the air while we're fucking wilding out, recording the podcast. He meets a girl, and it's really funny, and he picks her up. Picks up a girl. So it's funny. She's not a toot, just a girl. But the word toot's fun. You always got to be careful when you call a girl a toot.
Toot, 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 baby.
You're a toot.
Straight up.
Your
runs
fucking
in my blood.
Your sweatpants are toots.
Oh, I got some nice gold stripes on my Adidas.
Anyway, one of our matriarchy members commented on your photo that Chris snuck a photo of the back of your head while you were at the cellar and posted it on the
Jesus Christ.
And so,
You're going to make me furious?
Bubba, it's too late, Bubba. It's already out there, babies. They love you. And somebody called you Hey Bert the Hun because your head is shaped like a hun.
That's a good one.
Yeah, Hey Bert the Hun.
I think Chris might be available.
Okay. So he says phone was charging. So let me just see. Yeah, Chris is texting me like crazy right now. So we got some comments to get to. So we'll do that, and then we'll call Chrissy. He's available right now?
It looks like it.
So
He's
let's call him
asking
now
what's
because
up.
I don't know what time he's going on, and then we'll do. Well, while we're calling, we got one of our biggest fans, Chris the Teacher. He says, Trash Monkey got to spend some time with Trash Monkey last night and Chris D. He was in the studio for some reason. I mean, I think he's just like, I think Chris the Teacher is on the Patreon of like a lot of.
What was he doing here?
Who the hell knows? I think he was probably sniffing our
That's why
seats.
That's why I met last night.
He was probably sniffing our seats.
He wrote me a nice
what he's doing.
message.
Yeah. He was probably sniffing our fucking seats. Anyway, he was touching Trash Monkey the Hyena. Which, by the way, can we get Trash Monkey the Hyena in frame?
Yeah, bring them right
Yeah. So, Alessandra Moatoni, Mautone, Moatoni. She goes, you guys are funny. People on the train must think I'm a little Franks and Beans when I bust out laughing listening to your podcast. You both are a couple of good kids and cute kids, and I love it. Oh, and when you give me a shout out, you were half right. I'm Italian, but I'm also half Puerto Rican. Wepa!
Yeah.
That's it. So half of you is very Puerto Rican. That's nice to know, Alessandra. That's what you call it, New York mix right there. When you got a Puerto Rican and Italian, that happened in Queens.
I got that in Vegas, though, baby.
Yeah, and she's been on the train, so we know she's from New York. She's in the train or some urban area. Thank you for your service, Alessandra Moatoni. Moatoni, is that Italian? Moatoni or Moatone? Moatone.
I think that's more Puerto Rican. But...
We're calling Chrissy Wellfarts right now. Nicole Rosati, again, one of our big fans. Make no mistake, I'm not Jewish. I'm not Jewish, and I did pay my monthly membership. I just forgot to select the tier and click update. Well, hello, cutie.
Hey, toot, toot, toot.
What's up, Tootie? What's up, cutie? What's up, Tootie? What is it, Tootie? Patootie.
Cutie saluti.
What's up? Give me a Tootie saluti, you Tootie Patootie.
I'm taking a fucking poopy kapoopy.
Yeah, I can hear the echo in there, cuz. Yeah, I mean.
I'm coming out. It's what it is. Hold on, wait. Let me just fucking clean my ass. Hold on. Yeah. Sergio Chacon.
Yo, hey, Bert Mattern. How wild?
Bert.
How wild is Chrissy in your opinion?
The craziest son of a bitch I've ever met. I love him.
Now, Sergio Chacon's in the room right now with no socks. On.
Oh,
on the podcast. It's the Hyenas.
Cuz you you harboring Puerto Ricans in Houston.
While he's
What?
pooping.
You harboring a Puerto Rican?
What?
You're yarboring a Puerto Rican in Houston because you pronounce.
I know. It's fucking highly illegal.
Say Houston.
Yo,
say Houston
let me
again.
tell you guys something. Yo, Hey Bert was fucking smashed last night.
I was in good shape.
What happened?
Oh, but you were banged up.
What was I doing?
Well, first of all, you got out of the cab by my house and walked 30 blocks in the freezing cold.
I'm a man. I'm alpha.
Yeah. What do you?
You
Chris,
had the headphones on top of your head, but not on your ears.
yeah, because when
You were just talking about life. You were just talking about life with a tear on your eye. That's what. It's just what it is.
Yeah.
I
What?
didn't have a tear in my eye, did I?
Well, why
Yeah,
did
you did.
Why
Oh,
did you
fuck.
walk home at 2 a.m. by yourself? That's a 20-minute walk in the
I'm a
freezing
fucking
cold.
man.
When you could have easily just taken the cab.
No, baby.
One more stop.
No, man.
Yo,
I'm just a poor kid, baby. We don't take cabs.
I think what the dog is doing. He told me today he burned 1,500 calories walking.
Probably 18.
Wow.
1,800 calories walking. So I think what we got here is a case of body dysmorphia or.
I'm going
Are you
home.
throwing up your food?
No.
Did you go in the bathroom and throw up your food?
No, I pooped my brains out because I wanted to impress Chris. I am going out of town next week for the holidays. I'm going to eat and drink like I'm going to the chair, so I like to cut a little weight for that, so I don't give a fuck.
Even using the words cutting weight's a little concerning.
No,
Cutting
it's
weight?
not. Do you worry about boxers and the UFC fighters?
No, you're on the right podcast if you cut weight and put it back on because Jihadi with a body does that every single week depending on his steroid cycles. Chris, you're out of shape and it's what it is.
I'm trying to get in better shape, though, and Sergio Chacon is going to start boxing with me.
It's not going to happen because make no mistake, the funny thing about you, let me just tell a quick little story about Chrissy. When he goes hardcore in a diet, he's got a manic personality. So he gets really excited to tell you all about the new diet. Hey, this is what I'm doing this week. I'm only eating between 12 and 2, and then the other times I'm taking salsa classes, and then I'm going to learn to row. I'm going to join a crew team. And then what'll happen is he'll get really hungry because he'll have egg whites and salmons. Chrissy always orders salmon.
He loves
Doesn't
salmon.
matter if it's breakfast, lunch, he'll go, I'll just have a piece of salmon. That's why he's Chrissy
I
Salmon.
just had some salmon.
I know you did. And then what happens is we're walking, and then Chrissy goes, I need a bagel with butter right now. And I go, why? He goes, I know my body, and I just need some bread. And then you go in, you get a bagel with butter, and what do you also get? An apple crumb muffin.
A little muffin.
Cuz
Cuz I think Houston's the perfect fucking city for me to just come right out of the closet.
Did you hear how he said Houston? He called it Houston. He can't that the trash monkey in him gets in the way of the letter H. Houston.
Yeah.
Cuz so you can't eat vegetable. You have to. What do you do to your vegetables to get them down?
The only way, truthfully, I could get vegetables down is if I use a sugar-free maple syrup. I pour a little on there, and then I can get them down.
Jihadi, this is a true thing. He pours syrup on his vegetables in order to be able to eat them. He has to trick him. He has to essentially treat himself like a 7-year-old kid who doesn't want to eat his vegetables, and he pours syrup. Yeah. By the way, that's a pretty handy trick for people with infant kids, right?
Yeah, because it's just a little syrup. My mom used to throw some pancake syrup on my salads for me when I was a kid. I used to bang those out.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Am I just a white trash piece of shit?
I mean, you're definitely a kid who grew up in Ridgewood who had some wild uncles. On one side, we had Uncle Russell, and on the other side, yeah!
Uncle Victor, who just used to tie up people. One of my uncles used to fucking tie up people in the garage and torture them, and one of my other uncles used to tie up guys in the garage and fuck them.
All the
wild.
Yeah.
And it's just what it is.
Oh God! Oh God!
Yeah. Listen, for $500 a month on Patreon, we're gonna do a fucking exclusive sit down, unmasked, with Ron Bennington with Aunt Eileen. It's gonna happen.
You're gonna get it.
$500 a month, cuz.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Well, we already. Do you know the name of our Medici pseudo tit wild toot level who joined at $500 a month?
Who is that?
You remember? I can't find his name.
Oh, I think it's the last name Sedita, or Sedito. He's an Italian kid.
Yeah, he messaged us where on the Patreon board or on Instagram. You remember it was on the Patreon board, right?
I forgot where it was, but yeah, I think it's Sedito. By the way, you got to read the names out. We got to read the names out. I don't have access to it.
Oh, yeah, but I think I got it.
We could just read. We could read them all out. Now we'll just say we can't read them out.
Well,
we can't read them out.
Yeah, I mean, we'll if we don't read them out this week, our fans know that we're good for it. You know, they know we're good. Yeah, I mean,
we're on the podcast right now talking, but I just keep forgetting because I'm on the phone with you.
We're on the podcast. Yeah, you know what? I decided to name our fans who listen to this episode. I think we should. There are toot matriarchy, right? What did I call them?
Yeah.
Is that what I call them?
The ones who don't pay?
The ones that don't pay.
Toots.
The toot matriarchy, right? And then the other ones.
You're a toot if you don't pay, or you're a toot if you just listen to the podcast but don't join the Patreon. Either way makes you a toot.
Either way, you're a toot no matter what. But if you join the matriarchy, you're a non-toot. So you're still a toot, but you're a non-toot, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Because I think the $500 a month for exclusive interview with Aunt Eileen is fucking just. I have had a case of the Jew brains. For about the past few days, I'm telling you, I said to you before, if you took a fucking CAT scan in my head right now, you would see a Knish. There's a fucking Knish just pumping ideas right out of my fucking brain. I'm ready to make some money.
Are you not manning the Wei Zhongjing button at all?
I was actually finding let me give him one just to make up for that.
Yeah, there you go. Just clear it.
I found the name of the $500 member. It is John the Sicilian Sedito.
Wow. Did you find? What did he say? And we messaged him, right? He said he loves us. Where is it? Where is that on the?
I just found it on the Patreon manager. Did he write on the community board?
No, but you just found it on his name. Because we actually corresponded with him. But anyway, say that name again.
It's John the Sicilian Sedito.
John the Sicilian Sedito. You are our benefactor. Before we called Chris, I called you. You are Richard Gere, and we're your toot. We're Julia Roberts. We're basically fucking his toot, cuz we're Julia Roberts.
Yeah, I can't fucking wait. We got to call him up.
We do got to call him up. We're also going to hang out with him. We're going to invite him in. We're going to make whatever he wants to do, we're going to do for him. We're certainly going to start with a call on the phone when you get back from Houston, you trash. And
Trash. I'll fucking for $500 a month, I'll fucking let that guy strap on a dildo and fuck me in the ass.
Oh my God.
Wild.
I don't think that's on his wish list. I don't think he put that into Santa. But you know
It's good to have the option, though.
It's good to have the option. I mean, with a name like that, I don't think he's interested in fucking you in the ass, cuz.
Yeah.
I mean, that kid.
Yeah, I'm here in Houston, and I got shows tonight, and then I just got a text from the guy who's a great guy. There's a radio interview tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. It's like, when are people? It doesn't matter if I go on the radio. Like, it doesn't fucking matter. Why do I have to wake up at 6:30 in the morning and fucking do this shit when nobody's going to listen to it and buy tickets? It's a waste of fucking time.
Yeah, I hate it too, man. I hate every time I do it. It doesn't do
It's a waste
anything.
of time.
Yeah. Why don't you do like in Good Will Hunting? Why don't you send Sergio as your fixer? Remember that scene where he sends Ben Affleck and just have Sergio go in and say retainer and try to get some money off them?
Yeah. James Mattern is my fixer.
Baby, I was fixing shit last night, even though it was trashed.
What'd you fix?
Oh, things we can't talk about, baby. I wouldn't be a good fixer. I'd be Michael Cohen.
Yeah, we went to the hockey game last night. I told the people already. We had a good time. Three cute kids.
Good time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you were, instead of watching the game, you couldn't have better seats, and instead of watching the game, you were just Googling fucking surveys on the difference between gun violence in America and Mexico because you are a fucking CUCK Captain Cock.
Yeah, Chris, he looked over my shoulder and he caught me Googling the gun violence.
You were playing chess on an app because fucking make no mistake, the only thing that would make you happy in life is if you could just sit down one day and you could start smoking a cigar, playing chess, watching a nature doc, looking at a tree, and then I would slowly remove that cigar and then put a tranny's dick in, and it would be glorious. That's just what you want, and the sooner you admit that to yourself, that really all you want is to be trans or be in a loving relationship with a trans man, the sooner you'll get to fucking Valhalla.
Wild!
Listen, I'm just a French kid who decided to leave home and start a farm in
Let me ask you
Belgium.
a question. Do you have fucking socks on right now or no?
I do have socks on, yeah.
Yeah, cause make no mistake, you don't wash your ass there for a couple of days. You're going through depression.
Cause
you wore a hat over your hoodie because you're depressed.
Hey Bert has his headphones over his hoodie right now. And it makes his head look even shaped more like a cone when you got the helmet.
My head does not look like a cone.
A little bit,
I told
Bubba.
someone as I went to meet up with you that you guys call me Hey Bert. My boy T goes, I don't see it at all.
Because I want to stand you on your head and pour vanilla ice cream into your neck.
Oh, you son of a...
Bird alert!
Bird alert! Can we get a Hey Bert button?
I have to make one.
Jihadi's working on it. We told it to him 3 weeks ago, but why didn't he do it, Chrissy?
Because he's a 23-year-old kid.
Yeah. I've had a week, no? And you've had you've had to listen to a few fucking speeches.
Yeah, there's just been a couple of pictures where you're smoking a cigar with a birthday cone hat on your head, and it said, I'm going to be in for a long fucking day.
Yeah.
And you'll text me at 7 a.m. just about the future of comedy and about how nothing matters and nothing ever really exists. And I just have to deal with it. And then you'll get a text every few minutes that somebody in your family died again.
Yeah, my dad's he's died and come back to life a few times. So my dad was in the hospital. Yeah. Yeah, my dad's in the hospital this week. That's why we couldn't record Monday. So you're almost getting this podcast live. That's how soon to when it will be released. As it's been, we're going to be a little late, but it's because I've had some family. I had a week this week.
Yeah, and let's be honest with ourselves. It would be a little bit easier for you, but God and the simulators look down upon you and just like to have a lot of fun because you've got one brother who's full Franks and beans and the other brother who would be at your dad's side, but he's got to go find Anderson Cooper and suck his dick.
Could we just get a Wei Zhongjing, please?
Wei Zhongjing.
Just for my emotions and
Wei Zhongjing.
for my well-being. Thank you.
Yeah, and also because your brother's gonna sue me.
Yeah. Make no mistake, my brother is not interested in my career, so he will never listen to this. I think he still thinks I'm an actor.
Yeah, because it would be 10 out of 10 if there is a moment in our future that holds that we can fucking enjoy together, where one day me and you will attend your brother and Uncle Russell's wedding. And one of my uncle's cats will be the ring bearer.
Cause can we talk about your other uncle in like can we make that a $25? Or
Yeah,
can we
which
not?
one, Uncle Victor?
Yeah, or can we not talk about Uncle Victor?
Well, he's passed away now, so yeah.
Yeah, well, I'll wait till you're here to be done, because Uncle Victor is equally as wild for different reasons.
Yeah, it's a different reason. He used to get hammered and beat up Aunt Eileen.
Wild.
Wei Zhongjing, please.
Wei Zhongjing.
I mean, please, Zach. The wild is good, but you got to come right on the heels with a Wei Zhongjing.
Wei
because
Zhongjing.
You have to assume Chrissy might be telling the truth.
It's what it is.
We just don't know. So just in case we may have to bring a Catholic priest to be the third mic on this podcast just to fucking continue to forgive us.
Yeah, because it would be fucking... You know, it would be great to get my abuser, Father Bill, on the podcast. That would be great.
Wei Zhongjing.
Yeah, there you go. Or we could get Tommy McDermott. I love how
I was a kid that was assaulted by a priest and then skull fucked by his friend. That's just the truth.
These are things these are things that just happened. Yeah, and Bert's.
And it's just what it is.
Yeah, and James's mom was a professional prostitute
every week.
So
and his grandma was a fucking Nazi, and it's just what it is.
Yeah, it's just what it is, and we just want to remind the people every week. There we go. Zach just got the Hey Bert button going. We just want to remind the people who may be tuning in for the first time that our off the bench Bay Ridge boy, I called him before, Vinny the Microwave from the Detroit Pistons, or Jerry C. Sting. Hey Bert.
First of all, you said for those of you who are over 30, no one under 30 even gets that.
But your mom was a dude.
I'm so done with you, dude. You know I have other prostitutes in the family too. It's in the family.
Yeah, your aunt too was a prostitute.
I got a few. Yeah,
and also your grandmother probably had a Nazi patch
Jesus
somewhere
Christ.
in a box under a floorboard. She had, you know how every girl keeps a memory box of old relationship cards and memorabilia. Your grandma, she had some newspaper clippings when they said 23,000 Jews marched to their death.
My grandma hated the Nazis. I once slipped because there was Nazis in Marvel Comics for some reason when I was a kid.
Yeah, that just means you've just gone over your Hey Bert time limit.
Everyone here can go fuck themselves. Fuck you. Fuck Jihadi. I thought we're cool.
Jihadi's working quick today. Yeah.
What am I supposed to do? You're asking me things.
Yeah, he got the Hey Bert button, and he just hit Bert with he's gone over his Hey Bert allotted time. So he was speaking for too long. What happens is...
Bert.
Yeah. He goes too long, and then the fucking Oscar music starts playing because, make no mistake, Hey Bert, you're on a timer. Now back to Chrissy. Cuz Uncle Victor,
I hate you both.
He used to torture people.
It's what it is.
It's just what it is. We'll talk about that.
We'll talk about it more because I got to get in the shower and wash my ass because I have a show in 30 minutes.
I know that you take a shit with the door open. Are you gonna shower with the door open? Are you sharing a room with Sergio?
Yeah, Sergio's in the room and he just fucking shaved his fucking head and his fucking Puerto Rican beard, and then he took a shower, and now I have to wait for him. And I told Sergio that you think you got a speeding ticket because he was talking too loud.
Did you? Did he bring any of his snakes with him?
No, he didn't bring any of his snakes. He left them all in his fucking house.
Cause is it safe for him to leave those snakes with his daughter?
He said he thinks it'll be okay.
He has apex predator snakes in there, and his daughter's a child, no, cuz? And he's got a cat.
Apex, yeah, he's a sick fuck. Sergio's a sick fuck.
He is. We're going to have him on the cast soon.
Yeah, let's get him on the cast. Yo, let me go, guys. I got to fucking go.
All right. Peace out. Peace out.
Peace.
So,
Hey.
there you go. Chrissy's getting in the shower. We could all picture that. His pasty, translucent body. He's probably getting naked in front of Sergio. And he's just a wild kid. And that's what it is. So, he's in Houston. So, if you're in Houston, you will hear this weekend. Hopefully, Jihadi, I don't know when you're going to get this up. Jihadi, when are you going to get this up?
It'll be up later tonight.
So, you will, if you're in Houston or you know someone in Houston, go see Chrissy Distefano with our good friend Sergio Chicone. He's out at the Houston Improv. Why are you looking at me like that? You got the mic backwards? So you try to punish me back? I need you, so you got to remove it back.
Hebert.
I'm going to learn Krav Maga and fight you next time.
You
Johnny.
can't outfight Jihad Mabadi. He's got Exactly. There's a lot more where he came from. If you put him down, another terrorist cell will rise and take his place. That's the problem. You can't put him down. Also, you never know when he's going to have roid rage, because that's just something that could happen. Anyway, this week, we are going to be talking about a little history for you. We're not just going to go wild because Chrissy's not here. And we're not going to do another one of those solo ballots where it was just me occasionally talking to Jihadi. We've only done 2 weeks, I think, where we were separate, right?
Yeah.
No, we did. Did we do 3?
Well, there was 3, but Chris bought. I can't remember his name. I think KP.
He had Soul Joel Richardson in here.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
so there was 4, I think.
Yeah, there might have been 2 or 3 or 4. Yeah, that we did separately. He brought Soul Joel, and it was funny because we didn't remember. Joel drove all the way here, and then he texted us like, "Hey guys, I'm here," and we were like, "For what?"
Wild.
Anyway, Hey Bert, we love Hey Bert. He's James the Mad Dog Mattern, and
I don't really go by Mad Dog anymore.
Yeah.
And so you're bringing that back. You're really ruining this career that I've worked very hard
but
on.
he calls himself Chrissy Cavanaugh at times, and you're worried about Mad Dog.
I'm more worried about goddamn Haybert.
Chris has called himself Chrissy Cavanaugh, and he's in the entertainment business.
So he needs a fixer,
This,
Bubba.
but yeah, he needs a fixer, and he needs to walk around with a guy named Wei Zhongxian. That's what Chris needs. He needs to walk around with an Asian kid who just anytime he opens his mouth after he's done, the kid just goes, "My name
Wei
is."
Song Xian.
Exactly. That's what he needs. Anyway, 2 wild kids. Initially, I wanted to do this with Chrissy. So we both researched it together, but then it didn't work out. But then Hey Bert came and filled in like he always will, and he'll always be here. Hey Bert, you're becoming our 3rd mic.
Oh, yeah, great. What
Yeah.
a great career move for me.
And so Hey Bert did the research, and we talked about it. It's one of the most fascinating, the first thrill kill in American history. By 2 gentlemen named Leopold and Loeb, 2 Jewish kids, 19 years old, in the suburb of, what is it, Kenway or?
Yeah, it's suburb of Chicago.
Suburb of Chicago, what was it called, Kenneth or Kenway, something like that.
Kenwood.
Kenwood.
Very affluent area of Chicago.
Very affluent, and both their parents, they came from affluent families, very affluent families.
Yeah, and one dude was worth $4 million, his family. One dude was worth $10 million. So think about that.
Which back then is like $1 billion.
Is utter insanity. That's like just throw money in the air and burn it if you want because it doesn't matter. It'll never go away.
Both of them went to the University of Chicago. Both of them were very smart. Both of them got good grades.
One of them graduated high school at 14 and then went to college.
Yeah.
And
So-
crushed it.
Crushed it. Smart kids
Smart kids.
who happened to grow up close to each other and knew of each other, kind of, but didn't really become friends till they started going to the University of Chicago. Very prestigious school. They kind of met there. They started bonding there. And then formed a very strange relationship.
I would say peculiar.
Very peculiar.
Peculiar.
And you know what's odd about this is, I don't want to, we're a comedy history podcast, but, my fiance had a good friend who was murdered 2 years ago. His big story in New York where he went back to these kids' apartment and him and this other kid killed my ex-fiance's friend. His name was Joey. communale. And so, there's been a TV special on it, and it reminded me of this, only because this was totally different circumstances, but these kids killed the kid, then they put the body in the trunk, they threw it out the window, put it in the trunk, long story short. And this just happened, too. You can Google it. The trial, one kid just got life in prison, 25 to life. The other kid's trial's about to start. But then when they were going to hide the body, they went and I think they ate pancakes or they got burgers. They went and got burgers. Because Leopold and Loeb, they did the same thing, and so I'll get back to that. But we'll continue with the background of these two kids. So these privileged kids, and then this weird friendship starts. Very strange friendship, where it's almost sexual, if I remember correctly. Did they have
ended up
sex?
being sexual.
They did. They fucked, right?
So Loeb was the better looking kid and the smarter of the two, even though they're both intelligent kids.
I thought he wasn't. I thought he was the smarter too. I thought he was like more the, but he was the criminal one.
He had the charisma.
Yeah,
he
was
walks in a room, his clothes would pop off and shine,
Yeah.
and people were attracted to him, and he just made everything going. Their dynamic is interesting because the other dude kind of had a unibrow almost.
Yeah.
He looked browbeaten.
Yeah.
Kind of a mess.
He looked like Anthony Davis if Anthony Davis was a Jew. He had a unibrow.
He was and kind of lurchy, kind of like a lurch, and he
Not a bad-looking kid though.
a little sloppy.
Not that. I mean, when you go Google it, not that bad.
Those
I
brows
mean, he's
are a
not.
little much, baby.
He had a unibrow, but it kind of. You're making him sound worse. I mean, he's a normal-looking kid.
I wouldn't say normal.
He's a normal-looking
Google
kid.
the picture. I mean, you're gonna look.
Jihadi will Google it. Yeah, so he's talking about Leopold. First of all, their names Leopold and Loeb. It's almost like they were the simulators put them together to become the. Now, this was like the O.J. Simpson trial of that era. We're talking about the 20s, correct, Bert?
Yes, the Roaring 20s.
The Roaring
sir.
20s. This is the 20s. So this was like
People are wilding out.
this is the O.J. Simpson trial of that day.
Yeah.
The whole country was talking about this trial because what they ended up doing is killing a 14-year-old boy for no real reason.
Who was a cousin of one of the guys?
No. He wasn't a cousin of one of the guys. They knew him.
My intel said cousin, baby.
Well, double check that with Jihadi because I don't think so. See, so yeah, there's Leopold. I mean, he's not that handsome. I wouldn't say he's not grotesque the way you were describing. There's other pictures
He's
too.
no bueno, baby.
Come on, Bubba. I mean, he's not that. He's got a unibrow, but he's not horrific. Can you pull up another photo of Leopold? Leopold and Loeb. Wild. That's not him. Scroll down. Scroll down. Scroll down. That's Loeb on the other. There you go. Pull up the two of them right there together. No. The closer one. Scroll down. Scroll down. Scroll down. Right there on the second to the left. Yeah, those two kids. Can you click on it? Make it bigger, or is that as big as it gets? Yeah. So you can Google it, but it's a story. But yeah, that's good enough. Freaking wild. So they killed this kid in 1924. The kid's name was Bobby Franks. He was a 14-year-old kid that lived across the street, I believe, from Leopold. It wasn't cousins.
He was his second cousin and an across-the-street neighbor and played tennis at the
Holy
Loeb residence.
shit.
I researched this 2 hours ago, baby, and I'm coming and bringing heat, you son of a bitch. Hey, Bert, that.
You got a memory on you like a
Oh,
hawk.
Hebert.
Hey, Bert, that.
Oh, hey,
Yeah.
shirt.
I got a hey, Bert for you. Open up, baby. I'll give you a glue gun right in there, baby.
Who was the
Pop, pop!
Who was the quarterback for the San Diego Chargers 2 years ago?
Johnny Glue Gun.
Who was
Phil Rivers, you son of a bitch. He's still playing.
who was the quarterback for the Oakland Raiders in '87?
87 was shit. They didn't trade for Jay Schrader yet. I forget who it was. Might have still been Plunkett. Might have been Old Man Plunkett.
Wow, I think it was Plunkett. I don't know. I'm just guessing. I'm just freaking guessing. So these two kids developed this friendship. It became
They
sexual.
were in LA at that point, too.
Oh, they were in
LA
LA
Raiders.
Wow. I mean, I was just saying that I brought that up to just prove how much of a memory James has. He has an unbelievable memory.
What's better, my memory
Or your glue gun?
or the GG, baby?
What's the G? Glue gun, yeah.
Glue Gun Nation, baby.
How many inches you got down there?
At least 7 3/4.
You've never really measured it, though?
No, like I did. I did 7.5 once, but I think I can get a little more.
But you also got you got thickness on it, too, right?
I don't have.
You got
as
a
much
barrel on
thickness.
that piece.
I had a buddy, my buddy and I had a dick off with this girl, and he won in thickness, and I won in length.
Yeah.
And
All
we
right.
both did well in the other.
Well, like we said, if we get to $500, you're gonna put your piece on the Patreon.
Yeah, well, I don't know. We'll discuss
So
it,
we
baby.
see his glue gun. We got a lot.
500. We're already at 500.
No, 5G.
Close.
5G.
No, I'm talking about 500. We're at 350, I think.
Oh, Pedro. I thought you
Patreon.
were talking about money.
No. I'm talking about patrons. We got to get to 500 Patreons. So
And then
these
you can join Glue Gun Nation.
Glue Gun Nation, baby. Hashtag Glue Gun Nation. Hashtag History Hyenas.
150 to go. We're at 350.
150 to go, and we will see James Haybert's glue gun.
I never agreed to this.
So these two kids started fucking, no?
Yeah.
They started fucking. And how long did this weird friendship last? Like how long was this? Because it was an intense friendship where they only hang out with each other. They two smart kids. Leopold had been obsessed with Nietzsche. Friedrich Nietzsche, the philosopher, he was a German philosopher. If you're a smart kid, you've heard of him. If you're Franks and Beans, you have no idea what we're talking about. But Friedrich Nietzsche was really the precursor to German fascism, to Nazism, and he's responsible for a lot of destruction. And his philosophy and his writings happened at the late 1800s, 1880s, 1890s, early 1900s. And it was around the time the industrialization was really kicking in, and science was making huge advancements. We were manipulating genomes. So that was the climate was starting around this time, where people started to feel godly-like. We can manipulate genes, we can build buildings, things like this, skyscrapers. And so his philosophy is all about the Ubermensch, which is the Superman translated. So, certain people are born superior to other people. So both these kids felt that they were Ubermensches, and they were obsessed with Nietzsche. Probably like a lot of people. Like in our parents' generation, or your parents' generation, Camus was probably huge, right? And then Bukowski was big for our generation.
Well, Bukowski's not a fucking philosopher.
No, I'm just saying writings.
Oh, writings.
Writings, philosophy. Bukowski's a little philosophical. He's very philosophical.
We got some.
Camus was a writer, but he was also philosophical. You could say they were philosophers.
I have a Nietzsche quote tattoo. Amor fati is something he used to say. It's Latin for the love of fate.
Is that him?
Nietzsche, baby. I got Nietzsche on my
Amor
goddamn
Fati's
arm.
him?
Yeah.
Bubba.
Bubba's, is that wild?
Well, it's not that wild considering your grandmother was a Nazi youth. So now it kind of makes sense. Because there was probably one day when you were very young and you were sitting eating your Cheerios, and your grandmother said, "James, can you come into this room, please? Thank you. Now, James, you know that me and your grandfather, we come from another country. That was a time where the person who we think might be your father would not be allowed to be having sex with your mother. This was something we tried to solve in what we called the final solution. When I was a little baby girl, my idol was Adolf Hitler.
Oh my God.
He was mein Führer, and I remember fondly one day he came to speak to my camp because he was visiting, and he read us children's stories, and he actually kissed me on the cheek, James. So the one thing he said before he left the classroom to go kill more Jews was Amor fati from his favorite philosopher, Friedrich Nietzsche.
Just in case you're listening.
Do you remember that story?
My grandma was forced to be in the Hitler Youth because everyone had to. Was not a Nazi, but that was a wonderful rant.
That's
Hebert.
so good.
Hey, was I under the time, Jihadi?
Yeah,
Were
you
about to
just
play
made
some
it.
fucking
Yeah.
Sound of Music shit?
Just made it.
You just made it. Listen, that is a myth
I have a shot clock.
that people were forced. The whole country believed in that kid.
No, they didn't. He
Yeah.
barely won.
There's nothing you can
He
do
barely
about
took
the-
over the Reichstag.
Your
Have you not done that episode?
Your grandmother wore a Nazi uniform. And then
It is
what it is.
Yeah, and then she made you pancakes when she got older.
that was-
You were raised by a Nazi, and your mom was a toot, and it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Because it's what it is. It's what it is.
I am so bringing in a Turkish girl to your wedding. I can't wait.
Because if you bring
It's
a
gonna be
Turkish
great.
girl to my wedding, I will get the Turkish tingles immediately.
I'm bringing her. It's gonna be delightful.
I will be able to tell what her ethnicity is because I will get the TTs, the Turk tingles. So these two kids, man, they were obsessed with Nietzsche. They both believed they were Ubermensches, Ubermen, Supermen, whatever.
But there's a different dynamic, though.
Yeah,
One was a master and one was the slave.
that's right. That's the weird thing about it.
Yeah.
Was that Leopold looked up to Loeb because of how good-looking he was, taller, smart. He looked at him as like the Superman, and he fantasized always about serving
Yeah.
a man like that.
Very strange.
So he's the one who was probably the bottom in that gay relationship, right?
No doubt.
Yeah. So they were lovers, right?
Yeah.
Were they like committed lovers, or they were just banging, or what?
I believe they were.
But back then it was kind of like you couldn't just be a gay kid.
Back then, 3 weeks ago still. I mean, it's tough.
Now it's a lot easier.
It's a lot easier, but like, so think
it's
about
not even comparable.
the roaring 20s, though. There's
Yeah.
no chance.
Yeah. It's probably easier in the 20s than, the 50s, the 1800s, where sort of that religious fervor, fanaticism, and the wave came to flush that away. Sort of a conservative religious wave came and
You could
pushed
be
that
right.
back. Yeah.
Because part of this trial is the argument, like the trial of this murder, is were parents letting their kids have too much freedom.
Right.
That was that. Was
Right.
there too much privilege?
Right.
And were people progressing too much? Was there too much America? Did they know too much? Were they exploring themselves too much?
Well, the
Roaring
party-
20s are wild.
Roaring 20s are wild.
Babe Ruth, baby, was just plowing through everyone.
Yeah.
Hitting home runs, eating hot dogs, and banging girls in dumpsters.
And getting syphilis and all that.
America.
And then everything crashed in the 30s, and it went back the other way.
Mm-hmm.
And then 40s, World War II, and then the 50s, conservative again. Then the 60s, it swung back. It's always swinging back and forth between left and right,
The pendulum will never stop.
ultra conservative or ultra liberal, which is healthy. It's healthy to
Be a
balance.
mix.
It's balanced because I think people just inevitably when things swing left, they go too far. When things swing right, they go too far. Because people are fucking Franks and beans generally, and that's what it is. It generally comes down to the fact that most people are fucking stupid, and that's what it is. So these two kids decided that they wanted to plan the perfect murder, which is to prove how superior they were. They thought they just wanted to kill someone to see how it feels for the thrill.
Which
That's
is the
why
most privileged thing ever.
this is the first thrill killing in American history, really. I mean, I'm sure it's happened, but I mean, I guess maybe because they were so rich and prominent, their families, this became national news. But I mean, probably people didn't really, crime changes. As you see, like the FBI had to add a division for serial killers and stuff because that became a thing, whereas before it wasn't a thing. And thrill killing, like all these school shootings and things you see now where people are just killing for the fuck of it, it really has this is the Babe Ruth of it right here. Leopold and Loeb, the first thrill killers, they killed this kid. Now, they targeted some other kids. They planned it meticulously. They were going to kill the kid or kill whomever and then try to get ransom money. And they thought they'd never get caught because they were so fucking brilliant and so prominent and protected because of how privileged they are. And all it proved was just like, rich people are disconnected from reality. They are disconnected. Because the way these kids went about the murder was 100% Franks and 100% beans. Because this kid dropped his glasses. Make no mistake, he was one of 3 people that had these special glasses made.
One of 3.
And he dropped the glasses at the crime scene. So what happens is, they target all these kids, doesn't work out. And finally, just had a chance. Bobby Franks was umpiring a game or something, a little league game, baseball game, and he was walking home only a couple blocks to his house. Leopold and Loeb drive up next to him. He knows them from the neighborhood. He's played tennis at Leopold's house, who He's his second cousin, as you
I was
said.
about to rub it right in your
Yeah.
face. It was be like, what else is he? Is
Related.
he somehow related?
Yeah, I mean, he's his second cousin. So if it was
King of
Chrissy,
research?
if it was Chrissy, if that was Chrissy's cousin, who knows what could have been happening? So they offer him a lift. He's like, nah, I'm right there. And they entice him in the car because they have this tennis racket they want to show him. Of course, the kid's 14. He's not gonna. He's gonna get in the car. He's not gonna suspect anything. They get him in the car immediately. What did they hit him with? A sickle?
Chisel.
A chisel. They decided that the chisel was going to be the murder weapon. They're trying to commit the perfect murder. How fucking stupid are you? The first thing you do when he gets in the car is they crack the kid's head open so he can bleed all over the place in the car, which is a rental that they're going to have to fucking return. You know, back then they didn't have DNA or anything like that, but, I mean, it's pretty Franks and Beans. Pretty Franks and Beans.
And then they put a towel in his mouth, a rag, and they choke him out, right?
I thought, whatever it was, he died pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And then they put him on the floorboard and drove around, and that's why he reminded me of, the unfortunate thing that happened to my fiance's good friend, which is crazy. The two of them drove to Indiana, across state lines, and got some burgers, right?
Yeah, but they
Got
dipped
some burgers.
They dipped his body in like a tunnel by like a a lake.
Yeah, and then they burned then they took acid and poured it all over his face and his genitals.
And his genitals, so
Yeah.
they can't identify him.
Yeah.
Like the cops will be like, hey, let me see his dick. Oh, that's Bobby Franks.
Yeah.
Like that's crazy.
Yeah, well, they wanted to hide the fact that the kid was circumcised. They're just stupid kids.
And then they went and got hot dogs and root beer.
Yeah, they went and got hot dogs and a root beer.
They spent 7 months planning this.
Yeah, they spent 7 months planning this to commit this. They got caught immediately.
Yeah.
And in 1920s, when I was watching these documentaries and reading about this, it got me thinking, like, before DNA analysis and all the scientific assistance that investigators and detectives get now and law enforcement gets, how the fuck did people solve crimes back in the day? Like, if you wanted to murder someone and get away with it, you could do it.
Yeah, but they
All you had to do was look left and look right, and if there was nobody around, you're getting away with it.
But they got him. And then
Well, tell them how they got him, which is wild.
the glasses thing was a big thing.
The glasses was the way they got him.
And the guy who was the guy who went after them? What was his last name?
Crowley or Crow, or was it Crow?
Crow.
District Attorney Crow.
So he was dope. He wanted to go at him because of the affluence, because these, the idea that this could be affluent kids. This became a huge thing. He went after them, and he wanted to go after the death penalty. So that's a big issue. That's another part of this, is the fight over the death penalty, and their lawyer, the dude Darrow.
Clarence Darrow is one of the most famous
It's unbelievable.
figures in American history, took this case. He was a staunch opponent to the death penalty, famous defense attorney, argued many famous cases in American history. He took this case.
His last case, I believe.
Last case, I think this probably kind of soiled who he was a little bit. It really did kind of soil, because he gave an 11-hour fucking speech.
And suppose he was acting like he was Bryan Cranston on Broadway.
Yeah,
like he was all over the goddamn court, working people, crying. The judge cried.
I mean,
that's when you know you're gonna win.
Yeah, because he was good. He was good in front of the jury.
Popped the judge, baby.
Yeah. So this case was not a jury case. This came down to judge. They bypassed the jury, and it was up to the judge.
Well, because Darrow changed it. He said no guilty. Realized these guys were gonna. This should be known too. Death penalty back then was the fucking gallows pole.
Yeah.
You hung.
Yeah.
They hung your ass like you're in a Clint Eastwood movie.
Yeah.
All right? So he realized they were going to hang these bastards. He believed that you punish the sin, not the sinner. So it's like the sin was what's bad, murder. But we're not going to murder. We're not going to then murder you again. So he decided to change the plea to guilty, and then the issue becomes no jury. Now the judge has to hear the arguments.
Right.
And he brought in alienists, which is what they called shrinks back
Well,
then.
first of all, yeah, they called the shrimps
crazy
aliens,
is
which
that?
is weird. I was like, what are they talking about? Are they Mexicans?
Yeah.
I didn't understand. So they used to call psychiatrists aliens.
They built walls
Can you
around
look
them,
up
too.
why that is? Why did they used to call psychiatrists aliens? But he had really no choice. It's a good legal move because they
Back
had
to the wall.
They had confessions. The kids admitted it. So, I mean, pleading guilty is the way to go.
Because they were going to rat on each other, too.
They were already ratting on each other.
They were confessing.
Yeah.
And, what's funny is they know, we still don't know which one of them actually killed Bobby Franks because they both blame it on each other. There's some people who think it was Leopold. Some people think it was Loeb. But
I'd bet on Leopold. I'd put odds on it, Leopold.
you think because Loeb probably made him do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mastermind.
Yeah. He, from his whole life, Loeb, was a criminal, into stealing, lying. You could say he's probably on the psychopath spectrum, as they call it. He's the more of the two He's more psychopathic of the two of them.
I forget.
It seems.
Which, both of them, their parents weren't around as much. They had, they didn't even call them nannies, governesses.
Yeah, but
and one of them fucked one of them when he was like 12, like sexually abused him. I don't know which one it was.
Wow.
But one of them did. And
I need
that's
to
no
know
good.
which one it was.
And the other one's governess basically was his mother. Like acted.
Yeah, but you can't
basically-
blame it on that though. But you're just
But they
giving
know
some history.
but they ended up using that.
Clarence Darrow did.
Yes,
Yeah.
to prove that these guys' minds were children-like. He compared one of them. So these guys, these super mensches, right? And we're smarter than everyone. We go to college, we graduate early. But one of them, he basically compared them to the brain of a fucking 4-year-old.
Interesting. Yeah.
That they were still children. They never really grew up. That they, and this became an issue with people. Is are these kids actually really growing up? Are they given too much? Where they can't grow up. This became an issue for society,
Right,
in the
because
middle of the Roaring 20s.
this was like-
because
yeah.
of this. Everyone worried about their kids.
Right, because the 20s, people were partying. Things were starting to become easy. 19 years old back in the day, you were a full-grown man with responsibilities. This is the beginning of the affluent America where you're 19, you're still acting like a 12-year-old. It's a great point. It's a beginning. This is the beginning of it. We live in the culmination of that now,
Leopold is the one who had been sexually abused. And the alienness is because when psychiatry was still in its infancy, they used to use alienness to signify a medical doctor specializing in the treatment of mental illness or ailment.
Interesting. So ailment, the word ailment is what they call it, alien? Yeah.
You're good, baby. Who's good?
Jihadi. How did alien go from that to extraterrestrials? And then
Illegals.
And then illegal aliens. That word, we got to do a history of the word alien. That's another episode. So these kids, they got sentenced. They did not get the death penalty, which is why Clarence Darrow won. He was a famous fucking kid, Clarence Darrow.
Yeah.
He gave his closing summation was 11 fucking hours, which I still can't believe. What can you talk about for 11 hours?
Worked the room.
I
Like
mean-
he was Don Rickles at the Sands in 68.
I mean, that is self-indulgent. That's like post-Chappelle show, when you pop up and do like 8-hour performances.
Yeah.
And they said people would stay. You know what? I don't give a fuck if Jesus is talking. After an hour
Give him the light.
45, I'm going to the bathroom and not coming back.
And it's weird because they say he was such a great performer. If you look at pictures of this dude, if you, Jihadi, you're young, but I assume that you've seen The Godfather. He looks like Sterling Hayden. He looks like the crooked cop who beats up Michael when he gets shot in the throat in the Italian restaurant. Spoiler, everybody. That was the dude's permanent look. He looked like he got shot eating his veal.
Make no mistake, he was a rock star at that time. He's a rock star. And make no mistake, Van Morrison also does not look like a rock star. If you heard Van Morrison's voice and then saw his face, you're like, that is not the voice coming out of that face. There he is, yeah.
Look at this. He just got shot in the throat by Michael Corleone at Louis in the Bronx.
Yeah, he does look that way. He looks like an angry kid.
It's crazy.
But anyway, Clarence Darrow, he won. They did not. Well, I guess it's a Pyrrhic victory, right? I mean, he won in that they didn't get the death penalty, but they did go to jail.
This is the most Chicago thing, though.
Yeah.
Because Chicago's been crooked forever.
And Chicago was wild at that time because bootlegging was happening and it was controlled. There was a thriving underworld.
Yes. And one of the things that, I forget the last name again, who's the DA? He's got a cool last, Crow. They wanted to send a message to stop crime there, all right? And that's one of the reasons he's pushing hard for capital punishment, all right? And they pushed hard, and the big issue was the day before the verdict by the judge. This is so Chicago. The bookies were taking bets 3-1 that they weren't getting their death
How
penalty.
crazy is that?
That's the most Chicago shit.
That is Chicago.
Ever.
Yeah.
Wild.
It's
Yeah.
fucking wild. Yeah.
That's inside out pizza.
People were betting on, and that's how famous this case was. That's how much a part of the national conversation it was.
Remember, this is the city that threw the World Series.
Yeah,
That came
Chicago's
from Chicago.
Chicago's always had, it's Italians. Let's be honest. The Italians, when you're Italian, it comes with a little. You're born with a little criminality.
Yeah, but the Jewish Rothstein is the one who threw the World Series. Remember that?
Yeah, well, them too. Can I get a Wei Zhang Jinx?
Wei som
Murder Inc.,
sker.
baby.
Yeah. So they went to jail.
His face isn't. Just so you know, I lost my thought in the middle of what I was trying to say because I'm looking at the picture of this maniac who looks like he eats cheeseburgers made of babies, and it freaked me the fuck out.
He looks like Jack Nicholson a little bit. Doesn't he? An uglier version of Jack Nicholson. Like if they did a movie about him, they did a biopic about him.
Nicholson's great-great-grandpa.
I mean, Jack Nicholson could play him. I'm calling it right now. Eventually, they're going to make a Clarence Darrow movie. They probably already have.
If Nicholson fucked Hitchcock, that's what this guy would look like.
Yes, that was good. He looks like he defends guilty people.
Yes,
He does. Yeah, he does. So the two kids.
Well, that was his nickname. His nickname was the Attorney of the Damned.
Yeah. So
Baby, I'm good, Bubba.
And he got a lot of people off.
Baby, I'm Jordan 91.
We'll do another episode on Clarence Darrow. He did some good stuff. This one, I guess you could say, I think it kind of soiled his legacy a little bit because these two murderers. Who gives a fuck?
If we don't kill them,
come on,
who are
man.
we going to kill with the death penalty? We came to sentiment.
I'm
after.
against the death penalty, but when two kids clearly do it, I'm for it. When the two kids admit it,
Planned it for months.
I was just a hypocrite, right?
That was an oxymoron.
Yeah,
I'm for the death penalty. Like I'm not Batman.
Well,
can
we
kill
know
the
that
bad guys.
already, Jihadi. You're for a state sanctioned on national TV death penalty. You want to do it in a public square with a drain where all the blood gets. You take out a hose and you wash it down the drain.
Don't forget, we put it on YouTube after.
That's right. So these two kids got convicted. They got 25 to life, whatever it is. Whatever it is they got. Loeb ends up getting murdered horrifically by another inmate.
Because sexual advances.
Yeah. That's why the guy killed him?
Yeah. He was apparently was going to try and booger him in the behind, and the guy wasn't feeling it.
Wow.
Before, I guess, that was what it was in prison.
Wow. Yeah, so he got killed. He got killed brutally, too, like a lot of stabs, right?
Clipped hard.
Yeah, he got stabbed a bunch of times. He got stabbed up, died miserable. So that was the end of Loeb. I mean, for an Ubermensch, for a Superman, he really did not have a super life, or not even a cool death. I mean, he's just stabbed to death in prison. The other one fucking got out of prison, moved to Puerto Rico, and wrote a book about birds. What the fuck is that?
He's big on birds.
He was big on birds, and he was actually it was a pretty important book that he was a part of, right? On bird watching or something. So Leopold ended up, hey birds. He ended up living a long time, and that was sort of the first big case in this sort of American phenomenon that's now spread the world over of like these weird thrill kills. Now people do it with heavier machinery. They go into schools.
First crime of the century, bro.
First crime of the century, right? That's what they call it?
Yeah.
Is that the nickname for it? The first crime of the century?
Yeah.
Leopold and Loeb. Famous piece of American history right there. Infamous Leopold and Loeb. Two rich kids from a suburb of Chicago who killed little old poor Bobby Franks. They're so Franks and beans. We didn't even emphasize how they got caught. So the police had no leads really. Started interviewing people. Had really nothing. But what they did have is by the body, they found a pair of glasses that were tailor-made with what do you call those, ophthalmologists?
Yeah, but they had a
Is that an
weird,
ophthalmologist
ridge,
who makes them?
like a weird ridge to it.
The guy made 3.
Yeah, there's 3 in the whole city.
The guy made 3. They were all on record. Leopold lied. It was Leopold's. He lied at first, right? And he goes, "Oh yeah, they must have, They must be at my house or something. They went there. Then, boom, finally he admits that they're his. And that he says, oh, they must have just fallen out of my pocket. They go there. They try to have him simulate how it could have fallen out of his pocket or something and be stolen. He ends up confessing. So these two kids who are set out to commit the perfect crime commit the most Franks and Beans crime of all time for no fucking reason either. And then they sent the ransom note. They were trying to get the money, and that went wrong too.
And they didn't need money.
They didn't need money. They're trying to get money. I mean, what are they doing? So yeah, it's this bigger thing. It's like we're kids. Was the Roaring 20s starting to get decadent at this point, where kids were just bored out of their minds, and idle times the devil plays. Like, what the fuck were these kids doing? I think it probably had something to do with it, but I think it's just one of these weird things in history where these personalities come together and create like another personality. Kind of like History Hyenas. Yeah. Where me and Chrissy neither one of us talked like this before we started doing the podcast.
It's really weird.
It is wild. Yeah, we just, he didn't talk like that. I didn't talk like that. But we've created.
I'm scared I'm going to talk like this.
Yeah, we're going to kill a boy. We're going to kill a boy. We have to sacrifice a boy to Aunt Eileen. So anyway, this has been History Hyenas, Leopold and Loeb. Fucking wild.
Wild, baby.
Yeah, tune in for our bonus episode. Jihadi Bodies is going to pick which one it's going to be. We got a bunch of bonus episodes we shot this week. Go over to patreon.com/Bay Ridge Boys, patreon.com/Bay Ridge Boys, and join up so you can hear the bonus episode every week. It's going to be wild. There's a bunch. And then, like I said, we have a walk and talk. We got a kamikaze this week. So thank you all who've joined. And next week, when
Nation.
Chrissy is back, we are going to read all the new Patreons. We're not going to do it this week because it's better when Chrissy's here. So next week, we'll read all the new members. Thank you for your service, for joining. All the ones that deleted it. Fuck you, you're a toot. Peace.
Hebert. 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 Hebert.